Oh, shit. Ooh. Oh, how are you guys doing today? This is something new we're going to be bringing to the channel. It's going to be posted right after we go live. It's going to be daily Minnesota Vikings talks with me, live action. You guys can obviously hop in here, ask questions as you would like. Today, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about NFC North and if I really think the Vikings have a chance to win the division this year. And honestly, we got to start off with the Detroit Lions because they have a lot going on. You know, they just signed Dan Campbell to, I believe it was a 5-year deal as their head coach, seeing what he's all about. And it's something I'm really excited to get into. We're talking about the Lions, talking about the Bears, talking about the Packers, obviously, because I do think the Packers are the number one threat to the Vikings in winning the division. Anyways, starting off, let's just talk about the Bears because I feel like the Bears got a lot to do and with how the Vikings' success will be this year. Anyways, the Bears, obviously, they're in the Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson sweepskate, mainly because they just don't have a quarterback. And I really do think the Bears, I think if they really went out and got a guy like Russell Wilson, I'd be a little terrified in the division, not going to lie. And mainly just because of the fact that, you know, that Bears defense, I mean, if they get back to where they were, I believe in 2018 when they were, what were they? They were probably 12-4, 13-3. And they get kind of back to that identity of playing that defense where you only need to get the 20 points for the Bears to win a football game. That would be a very tough opponent to face in the division, considering the Bears already kind of have the Vikings number. So listen, we just all really need to hope that the Bears do not land a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson. Even though if they were going to land one of those two, I think it would especially mean they would probably have to give up 3 first-round picks. And I would honestly think Roquan Smith, their middle linebacker, he would definitely be thrown into that conversation. But I think the NFC North is going to be actually an absolutely stacked division this year, depending on what the Bears and Lions do. I think the Vikings and Packers will be very similar. And honestly, I think the Vikings, personally, if I was Vegas and I was making odds for the NFC North, like long shot, obviously we still have free agency, the draft. We still have a ton to get through for the season. But long shot odds, if I was Vegas and I was making these odds, I would definitely go Vikings are the favorite, Green Bay 2, probably Chicago 3, and then probably Detroit 4, which is honestly what it's probably been going into the season over the past 5 years. Anyways, moving on to the Packers. I think the Packers, listen, I mean, they're going to be good no matter what. You know, they got some dissension going on between coach and quarterback, but Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers, listen, they're going to be able to put up points on anybody. And the way the Vikings defense is built now, I actually think the Vikings defense does a decent job with matching up to guys like that. And oh, shit. Oh, by the way, guys, we actually do have super chat now. So super chat's a cool way where you guys can obviously ask a question or donate to support my channel. A super chat highlight message, or you could send a sticker. I've never even seen this before, but apparently since I hit 1K, we can definitely do that now. We'll go to the chat. Should we get Peterson? Are you talking about AP or Pat Pete? If you're talking about Adrian Peterson, I would definitely stay away from that. Obviously it'd be great if we would be good this year, bring him back. Oh, Pat Pete, you know, Zimmer would absolutely love that. Zimmer would absolutely love to get Pat Peterson. Honestly, if he's on the right deal, obviously I know he's a little old, but just to bring him in to kind of guide Dantzler and Gladney, I feel like that's the main reason why I want to bring a veteran corner. I got a video uploading today on what Rick Spielman said about Kirk Cousins being our quarterback. And it was I mentioned in the video Desmond Trufant. That's a name you guys should watch out for. Desmond Trufant. He is an absolute stud. Obviously, he was at corner for the Atlanta Falcons. He was with the Lions last year. He was just recently cut by the Lions. He's making around, I think it was 2 years, $20 million last year. He got cut. He only played 6 games. But if we could bring in a veteran corner for our young secondary, I feel like that'd just be a great way to kind of solidify the back end, because we know the safety position right now. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about the safety position, but the safety position definitely feels like something we need to address soon. And adding a veteran corner will definitely help that process. Going to chat, David the Boy. Oh, that was splash out, by the way. Appreciate the comment. David the Boy, how do you feel about getting Weatherly back? You know what? This is like so I don't know how you guys feel about Stephen Weatherly. I really don't know what he's done to earn a contract back with the Vikings. Listen, I mean, Weatherly's great. He's a great guy. Like, I love watching his interviews. He's a funny guy. He's a great locker room guy. But he has to have something on Zimmer. Like, he's got to have he's got to have like a picture of him or like something, like if Zimmer doing something stupid. I mean, he's got to have some blackmail on him. He's got to have some leverage, because this man always gets a 1-year contract. He always gets another deal. Like, no matter what he did last year. I mean, listen, I'm fine with them bringing him back. Obviously, it's a cheap deal. Whatever. Weatherly's been in the program or been in the system for a while. But, last year with all the D-line injuries we did have, and I was kind of hoping for a guy like him or Jalen Holmes or Naifedi to step up, and nobody really stepped up. So, honestly, Weatherly, I'm happy he's back, but, I mean, we'll see. Splash Out says, again, should we draft a safety in the 3rd round? See, I made a video. It was on 2 draft prospects who I think the Minnesota Vikings should get, and they're kind of underrated. And there's a guy, a safety in the 3rd round, that I think would be absolutely perfect. He went to Missouri. His name is Tyree Gillespie. Tyree Gillespie, safety for the Missouri Tigers last year. The only reason he would go in the 3rd round is because he's more of a traditional box safety, which pretty much means like they play in the box. They're more of a linebacker, kind of what Jamal Adams does. However, when he was put in the coverage, he won a lot of battles versus Kyle Pitts, who people think he might be the 2nd best player on the entire board besides Trevor Lawrence. And Kyle Pitts is probably the best tight end prospect we've had in the last 10 years. So, yes, I definitely think the Vikings should take a safety, especially in the 3rd. Listen, this is a very rich safety draft. So I would definitely try to get Mizzou safety Tyree Gillespie. He's a guy that I know most of you guys have probably never heard of, because nobody really watches Mizzou football. But just trust me on this. If we end up getting Tyree Gillespie, he's a box safety. He can learn from Harrison Smith, but he won battles versus Devontae Smith and Kyle Pitts when I was going back and watching film on him. He is a typical box safety, but he can fly back into coverage. He plays really good in the cover 2, which I know Zimmer likes. So keep an eye out on him. But, yeah, definitely draft a safety in the 3rd. Bam Troll, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Life's been good for you, man. And David the Boy, I haven't seen you guys in a while. Hope all is good. We're trying to get back at it. Trying to get back at the daily live streams. I got video uploading right now. We did hit 1K. Means a ton. I know I wasn't really with you guys going live because we were kind of in off-season mode. But we do have super chats now. So if you guys do want to support me, you obviously can. You don't need to. I mean, I don't really care. This is obviously for free. This is you guys. We're just talking football, and I love it. Good way to help me out, though. But David the Boy says, do you think we draft an O-line and D-line, or do you think we should go a safe route and sign a vet on both positions? Okay, so this is actually a great question, because I think the Vikings, they do have choices. They do have a lot of choices to do with when it comes to improving the trenches, because they do have some cap space where they could go maybe do a sign and trade with somebody else and go get a Joe Thuney, a Brandon Shreve, or another guy that was just released from the Broncos, Jarrell Casey. He's a guy who you could go sign in free agency. But this is what I would do. I think the O-line and D-line, like you said, they both need improvement. I think us as Vikings fans, we can realize the trenches are obviously where we start. If you could bring in, let's just say, a Joe Thuney for the offensive line, and then you could go draft in the 1st round, maybe an edge from Miami or the edge from Michigan. I mean, I feel like that would be night and day. where we're already adding back Daniil Hunter and Michael Pierce. Then you add in a first rounder, and then you add in guys like DJ Wonham, James Lynch in their second year. I know James Lynch didn't play, but that was because he was undersized. And if he could get some muscle on him, get in the weight program, I mean, there you go. I mean, that would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's a great way I would bolster the D line. Honestly, I would love to see them try to sign a vet because I think that would help out our young guys, but shit, who really knows, man? But it is something I think top priority is O-line, D-line. I think we can all agree on that. Bro down, SkolSide, bro down 64. How you doing, man? Haven't seen you guys in a while. Bamtro, been feeling good. Happy to be here. If Rashawn Slater is there, do we pick him up? I was talking about this with one of my friends the other day. Oh God. You know what? I'm gonna save that. Because I might make a video on that Bamtro. I might make a video on that because he is somebody who I kind of want, but I also am a little tweaked out about. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, Jesse, what's up? Jesse, man, even first stream back, we already got some of the OGs back. What's up? Are you concerned about the possibility of the Bears and Lions drafting a quarterback this year? I have anxiety over the Bears drafting Trey Lance. Okay. So I was doing some mocks and everything. I was kind of looking at it. So the Lions have the 7th pick, and I think the Bears have 20th, if I remember. I do not think Trey Lance falls to 20. I don't think Trey Lance will fall past San Francisco at 13 or 12. Yeah, San Fran has 12. New England has 13. Or maybe New England has one, be honest. But whatever, that little area right there. Trey Lance, I don't believe will fall past the 12 spot. Mainly because I don't think San Fran will see a project like that. And especially if they still have Garoppolo, who gets hurt a lot, I think they'll draft Trey Lance. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, if the Bears would get their hands on Trey Lance, I'd definitely be a little scared. I do think the Lions, though, something to watch out with the Lions. People aren't really talking about them drafting a quarterback. However, yes, I know they just traded for Jared Goff, but they did get 2 first-round picks. If they could flip Jared Goff for a second or a first, and if Zach Wilson's there at 7, that would be my nightmare on draft day. Like, please, Zach Wilson needs to go before the Lions at 7, or else I actually think they would draft him. I was listening to Dan Campbell, the new Lions head coach. He seems interested. I would be a little concerned if the Lions got Zach Wilson, but obviously I still think we're better. By the way, thank you guys so much for being active in the chat right now. I absolutely love it. Good to be back, man. I'm going to try to be doing these every day during the day for a little bit amount of time. Obviously, these will upload right after. What do you think the chances are for the Bears getting Russell Wilson? I was talking about this, again, my roommate's a Bears fan, and we were talking about this, and we were just saying, what are the real chances that he comes to Chicago? Originally, I was thinking there's a 0% chance because what is Russell Wilson's problem with Seattle right now? It's the offensive line. So if Russell Wilson has a problem with the offensive line, why the hell would he go to the Bears when their O-line was terrible last year? Apparently, he likes some of the young pieces. There's an article that came out yesterday that he likes some of the young pieces in Chicago, especially on the O-line. But I think Russell Wilson, I think if he would go to the Bears, it would require 3 first, him to sign off on it, Roquan. So I don't know. I don't know if Pace would make that call. I would give that still a 5% chance. If you want me to put a number on it, I would go 5%. Yeah, okay. And also the Bears, if they do not get Russell Wilson, I think they'll probably keep Nick Foles, but I would expect them, keep an eye out on them drafting Mac Jones. That was my gut feeling, is Mac Jones to the Bears. Keep an eye out on that. David the Boy says, I would be so scared if Chicago gets Russell Wilson. I would be too, because honestly, if the Bears defense, I mean, they can hold any team under 20, and if you just say, hey, Russ, get to 20 plus and we'll win this game, I mean, shit, that would be terrible. That would be bad. T Foglid said, who do you think we are picking with our 14? Ooh, I love this question. This is tough. I like the edge rusher from Miami a lot. I don't know oh my God, what is his name? The edge from Miami. He's an absolute stud. He had like 15 and a half sacks last year. He is an absolute just prime talented guy. Like he reminds me a lot of Daniil Hunter, like a lot of potential, but he's also got like some skill in him. He hasn't been playing DN for the longest. I think if we had another edge right there, that's who I would take at 14. But also I think it depends on free agency. Let's just say we do go get a guy such as Joe Thuney, then we obviously wouldn't need to really touch the O-line in the first round, but I would definitely go trenches 100%. 100%. Would you rather draft a guy like Maury Mohrig or sign a guy like Keanu Neal? Harris probably is going to go. I would probably I would like us to sign a safety. I have a safety named Tyree Gillespie that I want them to take in the third. But really, I mean, that's a toss up. I mean, I would honestly have to know more about like what Zimmer would want, and I got to look more into Keanu Neal. I haven't really watched film on him to really have an opinion besides just like what I hear from other people. Sir Meeslot said, "Hey, bro, I really like your channel. Thank you so much, man. Welcome to the stream. Keeping it low key, man. We just hit 1K. You know, we're a small Vikings channel, but we are growing. We got a ton of OGs in here right now." Jaden Barry says, "Do you think Wilson comes back? If not, I hope the Vikings draft a better linebacker." Eric Wilson. If not, I hope the Vikings draft a better linebacker depth either in free agency or draft. I'm really hoping Eric Wilson comes back. He was so important to the defense last year, even though the defense was depleted. I would love to see him back, frankly. I mean, I think he's a great, like an absolutely fantastic number 2 or number 3 next to Eric Kendricks because he's a playmaker. You know, obviously he had a ton of turnovers last year, so I would love to bring him back. But besides that, I mean, obviously I would like them. There's this linebacker draft is very deep. There's a linebacker from Kentucky I really like, but I mean Eric Wilson, he was kind of almost a glue guy last year. Like he kind of did all the dirty things. He was also making some splash plays. I would love to see Eric Wilson with a full defensive line because I say this saying a lot, and I think it's 100% true. You know, I've been playing football a lot in my life, and I've been watching football a lot in my life. I always compare the defensive line is the offensive line to the running back as the defensive line is to the linebacker. You know, because if you're not having a D line eat up blocks like a Michael Pierce or Daniil Hunter, they're coming free at your linebackers, just like how a linebacker will come free at your running back if you don't have the O line. So I want to see Eric Wilson there, but yeah, definitely I'd bring him back. Oh geez, Bam showing Sir Meepsaw. You guys know each other from Purple for the Win stream. You guys are having a little broman in the chat right now. I'd love to see that. Love to see that. Now that I realize I think this is one of the few times Seahawks come to Minnesota in 2021 seasons. David the Boy, that's a great point. We do get Seattle in Minnesota this year, which is so nice. I think it's been 3 years? We going 3 years in a row that we had to go to Seattle, which I mean that sucks. But here we go. Gregory Rosseo is a good trade back in late first option and grab a 2. Is he from Michigan or Miami? Gregory, I think he's from Michigan, or maybe I'm tweaking. Maybe that guy from Miami I'm talking about. Because I was watching film on edge rushers in this draft, obviously to prepare. But I mean, we're still so far out. I mean, there's still so much. Like, I need to see, like, I mean, once a combine happens, a lot of these guys are going to fluctuate. Yeah, okay, so he is the one from Miami. Yeah, a lot of these guys will fluctuate, especially after, like, I don't know if they're doing the combine fully, but once, like, their splits come out, like, such as bench, 40, vert, all that, obviously teams look at that, especially cone drill. Even though I don't really I like looking at film more than just the combine stats, but, you know, obviously GM's looking to that for a reason. Do you think us bringing back Weather is actually a good benefit for us as T Fallgood? So I really don't know what Weatherly has on Coach Mike Zimmer to keep getting a contract again. You know, I was hoping last year with all the injuries on the D line, he would really step up and, you know, make a move and, you know, assert himself. But he didn't. I mean, then again, he's only getting $2 million or $3 million this year. So, you know, why not? Why not? Bring him back. Eric Wilson was very poor against the run. They took back anger. Yes, he was. You know, that's a good point. You know, Eric Wilson, he made a lot of splash plays, but he's also pretty poor against the run this year. If you go look at some of the film, you know, sometimes he would just shoot like a gap, and there would really be no reason for him to shoot that gap. He would overplay a lot of the runs, and then especially in that Saints game, he was not too good. Sir, me saw no combine, but there will be pro day. All right, perfect. Yeah, I've been really been catching up on like my NFL news. I've been really just watching a ton of film on the Vikings. By the way, I got an absolute banger video. I need everybody in the chat focus up. I got questions for you guys. So I was watching some film on our boy Cameron Dantzler. There is a huge thing in my stomach that says he might be next up. And he might be the next good corner in the NFL. I was watching from him ever since he had that injury against Green Bay, and then I think it was weeks 8 to the rest of the season, maybe. This kid is absolutely fantastic. He is long. If he just puts on a little more muscle for when he can jam receivers at the line of scrimmage with those long arms. His technique is so fine. Cam Dantzler, please keep an eye out on him next year. Him and Irv Smith, if there's two players that the Vikings will have be not household names, but they'll be on Pro Bowl level next year, Cameron Dantzler and Irv Smith. And I'm not just saying this bias. I've been watching a ton of film on these guys. Just trust me. He is an absolute animal. All right, here we go. Sir Miso, I say extend Reef to lower cap numbers and trade a 6 to Giants for Zettler and give an extension to lower cap. They might cut Reef, but if they could extend him and then it would lower the cap number, I'd obviously be down. I'm hoping the Giants would do that for Zettler for a 6. We should just do that regardless. But, yeah, they might cut Reef, says Bamtro, 100%. Do you think Kirk is a QB that can bring us to the Super Bowl and win? Okay. My thoughts on Kirk Cousins. David the Boy says this. My thoughts on Kirk. I think Kirk can win a Super Bowl. I think he can be the dude holding the trophy. I think he can be that. Will he be the reason we win the Super Bowl? No. And that's the reality with Kirk Cousins. He's in that Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, type of field where you can win a lot of games with him. However, it's not going to be the reason because of him. If that makes sense. He can win, but he won't be the reason you win. It's going to have to be a combination of a running game, of really good weapons on the outside, a really solid defense. But however, I think with this formula that the Vikings have on winning games, kind of establishing the run, playing good D, bootleg, all that, I think Kirk can. However, I also think the Vikings offense, I think they need to let him, I think to give Kirk confidence to win more big-time games, which is what Kirk needs to work on, is winning big-time games. We all know that. Winning big-time games, whether the big-time games in October and we have a division game against Green Bay or it's in the postseason. They need to improve with that. And I think that works well with letting him loose a little bit. Too many times on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, 4th and 1. They just hand the ball off. And I'm let Jefferson, let Irv, let Thielen, give these guys more of a chance. But I definitely think he can. Yeah, Kirk is good enough to win a Super Bowl if he plays like he did after that bye. I agree with that, Sir Misa. He was on fire after the bye. Obviously, he has some, he has his flaws, but he also has his positives. People don't realize that. Bamtro, Cam Dantzler is a dog, man. Jose Ortega, is that how you say it? Skol from Mexico. Keep it up, brother. I love that. Which part of Mexico are you from, if you don't mind me asking? That is absolutely sweet. Skol from Mexico. That's awesome. Cameron Dantzler is a dog. You put 12 pounds of all muscle, and he's a true number one shutdown. Once he came back from injury, he's the 3rd highest graded corner. That's absolutely fantastic. Completely agree with that. He needs to definitely put on some muscle, though. I think he weighs 185. I think I'm 192 right now. So, Cam, I think me and him are about the same height, and I got 7 pounds on him. So he definitely needs to put on some muscle, but he's got those long arms. He flies around the field. He's a ball hawk. He's absolutely fantastic. Here we go. Yep, David the Boy, yes. So Cameron could be a top 10 CB in 2 months. I agree with that. He just needs to put on that weight because he needs to be able to jam dudes at the line of scrimmage. Jose says Dantzler is all right. We're set on him. Yeah, definitely I'm not going to say that Dantzler's for sure a lock, but there's definitely some promising stuff on film that I was seeing that, God, I'm more excited about Cameron Dantzler than I think Irv Smith next year. If Nick Foles in the decaying version of Peyton Manning could win the Super Bowl, I don't see why Kirk couldn't. Yep, that is you should tweet that. That is an absolute banger of a comment right there. I love that. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if Nick Foles can light up a Super Bowl, I mean, who says Kirk can't too? And I think Kirk can give us a good shot. I don't think he's gonna ever lose a game for us. It's just I kind of want Kirk. Kirk's got to go win a game for us every once in a while. But Sir Misla, if Reef gets an extension and lowers caps, maybe gets a 6+ mil in cap, sign Jared Cook. We almost did in 2016. Imagine Jared Cook in line with Irv Smith in slot, Jefferson and Thielen out wide. Yeah, I like the Jared Cook thing. The Jared Cook to Minnesota thing's interesting. If he would take a low deal, because obviously when you bring in a big tight end like that, I'm never going to be against it. However, there's also a little part of me that I have been watching a lot of film on Irv and Conklin. I think we're fine at tight end. I honestly think we're good at tight end. I think Irv and I think Conklin. Conklin's more of a question mark, but I think those two, I just got a feeling that those two are going to really produce this year. And I think the Vikings need to, listen, I think they need to use the tight end more. So if they're going to use the tight end more, yes, then bring in a guy like Jared Cook. However, they just use him to block a lot. I don't know how Jared Cook is blocking, but Irv and Conklin, those would be my two tight ends that we would run out this year. Jaden Berry, I think Mike Hughes is comeback player of the year. Jaden, you are a very optimistic person. You are a very, very optimistic person. I love that. Love optimistic people. However, I'm an optimistic person too. I'm a player first guy all the time. I'll get on the coaches. You guys know this. I get on the coaches way more than I get on players. I'm going to disagree with you, but if you are right, I'm going to remember this and I'm going to thank you a ton if Mike Hughes is comeback player of the year, because I'd love that. Because again, do we forget Mike Hughes was a first rounder? He was literally a first-round pick, wasted. He was supposed to be a return guy, too. In a return game, we got KJ Osborne back there. He looks like he runs a 5.5 40. So, obviously, I want Mike Hughes back, but I don't think he will win comeback. I would love that. I'm going to remember that, Jaden. I'm going to remember that. Remind me during the year. Do you think Jefferson will break out next year? Oh, shit. I mean, what do you mean break out? I mean, if he has the same year he did last year, I'm fine with that. I mean, Jefferson had a great year last year. I think the Vikings need to use him more. Is that what you mean by breakout? I think they definitely do. But anyways, yeah, I would definitely think Jefferson gets more targets. I think he had number 1 in yards per targets last year. He was 4th in yards. I think he was top 20 in touchdowns. But yeah, definitely, I think he'll definitely have a better year. By the way, we are going, me and my roommates, we are going to Tampa Bay, home of the Super Bowl, home of the Super Bowl champs. We're going to Tampa Bay in April. Listen, I'm going to be bringing you guys some vlogs from the Super Bowl home. Would you guys want that? Yes or no? Let me know. Like a vacation type of vlog, or just me and my friend just screwing around in Tampa Bay. Let me know about that. And let me know if you guys want these streams every day too. If Mike Hughes pulled it together, says Sir Meeslot, and plays how he did rookie year, future of corners could be Dancer, Gladney, and Hughes. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, listen, if Mike Hughes kind of pulls his head out of his ass a little bit, we'll have a great cornerback room. All I'm saying is you have a bounce back season, not MVP, playing to have a complete season. I agree with that, Jaden. Because last year, Jefferson never really had the big time moments last year in big time games besides a Monday night against the Bears. That was mainly because the teams weren't really in many big time games last year because they were so bad. But I would definitely think he has more of a complete season. I would agree like that. But listen, I already think he's a top 10 receiver. I just hope people will realize that he's top 5. Coming back from a torn ACL and 2 broken vertebrae and neck is tough even to come. Yeah. God, yeah, that's terrible to think about. With Hughes, it's just everything he's been through. I mean, that would be absolutely wild. Irvin swerving is just so modern, so fun to watch. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. He is a very modern tight end. He's a little smaller. He's not like the 6'5", 6'6" build that you normally see. He's got some Shannon Sharp in him. He's got some, 6'2", can get up, get out, run great routes, and he's also gotten really good at blocking. But yeah, definitely Irvin swerving. It's going to be his time to shine. David the Boy says, do you think Rodgers would come to Minnesota like Favre did? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Favre going here was already anomaly. Why can't I say whatever? I'm not even gonna try to say that, but you guys know what I'm saying. I think him already coming here was definitely a shock to everybody. But yeah. So you guys want some vlogs? Says David the Boy, Jesse Stark. The Tampa vlogs. So pretty much I'm in college and I just turned 21 and my roommates are all 21. And we would be going there and we could play like, I mean, I was thinking like some fun videos. Like we could do like one-on-ones like on the beach, like one-on-one football on the beach, or just like us vlogging, going to like bars, like watching sports games. Cause I think it would be right around like when baseball is kind of popping off in Tampa. And we could maybe hit up the light, like hit up the stadiums, hit up the Buccaneers stadiums, just kind of like, because we plan on having a good time. I mean, it's no parents. This is our first time going on vacation, like just us kids. And kids, I mean, I say that I'm in college. I'm 21 years old, but you guys obviously know what I mean. Yeah, but I think the vlogs would definitely be something that could expand the channel a little bit. And then also about a daily show. I don't know if you guys know what McAfee does. I would love to do like a daily show where it's almost like just us talking to each other. Like kind of like what we're doing right now, but daily, maybe like 3-4 times a week. Because then we could really get this channel going. I think that would be cool. My last name is pronounced Stork. Am I saying that right? What have I been saying? Jeez, I have no idea, man. Would you ever think about a collab sometime and talk some Vikings? I mean, I'm always down to collab. I mean, I'm trying to think about other stuff for the channel since it is off-season time. I would love to get your guys' insight on all this. But I mean, yeah, definitely get some insight like with everything going on because we are getting out of stuff to talk about since we do have the draft. It's still a little whiles away. With JJ, Thielen, Irv, and Conklin, the receiving game is set. Running game, no need to say it. Strength O-line with a couple of thick guards. I agree with that. And we got a legit top 10, heck, top 5 offense. I mean, I think last year our offense was top 10. I mean, would you guys disagree? I mean, I'd definitely say we had a top 10. I mean, definitely 8 to 12 range, wherever you want to put it. But I agree with you on the thick guards comment. They need to get meteor on the O-line. They need to get some I want the vibe when the Vikings roll up in the stadium, because even like with a good running game, like it was always Dalvin. It wasn't ever really the O-line, but like I want the vibe to be like, yeah, like kind of like how the Titans have, like, yeah, we're gonna come steamroll you. Then we're hitting you in play action, over top, explosive. Like that's where the Vikings need to go. If they could be the Titans offense with Zimmer's defense, Super Bowl. I'm telling you, that's what I would do. But yeah, definitely gotta get thicker. Oh, I heard Stark, like a Tony Stark. Nah, don't worry about it. Thanks for correcting me. I'd rather get it right. You know what I mean? I say if I'm trying to read that. My phone's bugging out right now. I say if Barmore, Paez. Oh, would you take Patrick Surtain? Farley aren't on the board at 14. You trade back in 20s, grab a second round and take. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I definitely want to get the edge from Miami. I wouldn't even be that mad if they got Rosseo. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Rosseo. The edge from Miami at 14. I mean, he had 15 and a half sacks. I'd love to bring him to Minnesota. But honestly, if we just take him at 14, I would not be that upset. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to have to wrap this up. I actually do have class in about 30 minutes. You know, we're on that grind right now trying to slip these in. I got a video uploading right now. It should be pretty much done uploading, so look out for that. Anyways, guys, seriously, thank you guys so much. I love seeing you guys in here talking. I love how active the chat is. Like, seriously, I mean, it makes this way more fun to me when I'm talking to you guys and we can have an actual conversation. I love interacting. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Road to 2K vlogs coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.